Okay, I want to talk with you for just a few moments here. And so I want to answer the question, what differentiates me from every other tutor that I've met? And that is there's a foundation here, obviously, of expertise, of knowing my stuff, having the right certification, going to school to be a teacher, being a full-time teacher, being successful in my school district, blah, 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 blah. You heard the speeches from everybody. Everybody claims that. I get it. You get it. What makes me different? Published? Okay, that's part of it. Yes, I'm published. Um, I've had stories that are popular on public radio. I've had awards. I've had wild success with my writing, been published in local papers, academically, performed my creative writing, whether it's a play, a comedy, poetry, spoken word. Okay, yeah. There's that. Okay. But again, you've heard that too, and you've heard that from other people, I'm sure. Now, that foundation is just the foundation. It's just the beginning. Because to support your students and what they want, so some of you want to have your students become more motivated with their writing. Some of you want higher test scores and grades. Others are tired of hearing your kids coming home and saying, this is another stupid assignment, I have to do another essay. They roll their eyes, and you're struggling to get them to start that process, okay? There's that. All of those issues, whether they're short-term, long-term, I want to be the top of my class, I'm at the top of my class, I want to differentiate myself as a student because my plan is to go to Columbia, Yale, Harvard, Brown, wherever, UC Berkeley. And I know that many other students are competing. And I know that my 4.5 GPA, my perfect SAT or ACT, is not necessarily going to differentiate me. Okay, I just described advanced needs for you. So, back to my point, what differentiates me? Okay, we talked about my foundation. Think of it like a structure, 4 pillars, like a Greek structure, not ruins, but these beautiful buildings in ancient Greece in their prime, in their glory. 4 pillars, a roof, and people might have had events, political, social, in these structures, and they had to be strong. They had to have the foundation. 4 pillars. Let me talk about these a little bit. Without naming the pillars, you have to have a strong foundation. You have to have a long view that not only are you going to solve issues in the immediate context, but in the future, that your students can learn the secrets of communicating and writing, the secrets of reading, and combining everything. Now, what differentiates me? I keep coming back to that question. Is when you take the long view and you have these pillars, one of these pillars might be organization. Okay, I named one of them. Okay, I gave you one of my pillars. That creates the environment of excellence. That creates the ability for your students to learn deeply. Deep learning. Look it up. Look up Cal Newport. Because if we don't address the big elephant in the room, which is time management and organization, we don't properly motivate students. And when we don't minimize distractions, we don't properly motivate students. They end up working harder, getting more frustrated. When all we need to do is take a step back, engage with the foundation and these pillars. One of them is organization. And take a slightly longer view. Look at whether we tutor for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, or 16 weeks. How do you decide? There must be an assessment, a needs assessment with an expert like myself, and an open meeting with you, your student, your husband, your wife, there on Zoom to make a game plan, a roadmap for your student so that they can solve their issues for the long term, so that when they get to be a doctor and they're writing papers and they're instituting a business, they're trying to get other people on board, they're trying to ask for money, big money from universities to fund their programs, they know how to communicate. So this is not just for students that want to become writers. Writing across the curriculum is a huge deal. Now, taking the long view looks like this. How does writing and reading relate to life out there? That's what I ask my students. How can this relate to you in your life, your hobbies, the things you care about, peer pressure, all these issues? And how does life itself inform our writing? How does life itself out there inform our reading? And when you have this transferability of concept from simply the academic task at hand, which is write a 5-paragraph essay, substantiating your view with evidence from the text, have a well-defined thesis, and we relate it to something real in life and why a thesis matters in life and why being organized matters in life. We change the thinking. When you change the mindset and the thinking, you change the approach that the student has, the motivation they have towards their studies. So now they see the big picture. Okay? If you want to know what these pillars are, reach out. What's your next step? Basically is to see if my tools that I provide, my tutoring, and everything else is a good fit for your student. And I have, in the month of February, I shouldn't date this video, but I'm going to end up dating it, right? Because you're going to listen to this 3 months later, perhaps. But in the month of February of 2025, I'm doing a promotion where I'm doing a case study, free tutoring for a couple, 2-3 weeks, just to better understand the needs of students as I think about my spring tutoring. We did the fall that was successful. So this is an opportunity for you all to see at a on a no-risk basis if this tutoring is suitable for your student, whether they are aspiring to be at that higher level or whether they are already at that high level and wanting to differentiate themselves. And all right, so that's it. Look in the description of this video. Reach out to me through whether it's an email, a cell phone number I've put there, or a direct message link. Reach out and just say, hey, tell me a little bit about a strategy success session, because that's where I'll give you a roadmap. And if you're finding this on my page or one of my friends' pages, I'll give you a $97 value for free, because that strategy success session gives you tools, it's a roadmap, and I'll give it to you for free. You just have to mention this page, whichever page it's on. All right, take care.